Let's go. I'd like to thank everybody for joining, taking the time out of your night. This is Real Bread Life. I am Jay Rome. So you can catch us everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all platforms. It's Real Bread League, Real Bread Life, and Real Bread Logistics. If you are inquiring, you can reach us at jugg@realbreadlife.com. This is the email. If you have a question, comment, or want to inquire about some bread related information, this is where you can reach us at any time. So, not going to take a lot of time up tonight. I got some things I got to get to, but I just wanted to make sure I kept with the format and came on for Thursday. This is 102. What I wanted to get into a little bit today while I wait for see if a few people jump in and have any questions is I wanted to talk about, the bread business just in general. When we say bread business, some say delivering bread. Some say I'm a bread man, bread girl, bread woman, bread person. I'm in the bread business. So however you define it, or however you see yourself, or, the term you use, I prefer to say business. And somewhere in there, if you use business, would determine how well you're doing in that business. Because if you're just saying, I deliver bread, then that's what you're doing. You're just delivering bread. But if you're running a business and you treat it as such, then you could be probably stacking your bread. So that's just one of the things I just wanted to talk about, because I had a conversation earlier in the week with somebody, and it was real interesting. And we just talked about the different aspects of the business and how people get into it, how people have gotten into it, how long they stay in it, and what they expect to get out of it. And everybody's expectations are different. When you start any business, or you start a job, or you decide you want to make a career change or a life-changing move as it pertains to the path you're going to take to earn a living, everybody's perspective, view, or plan is a little different. Even if all right, let me say it like this. For me, if I'm looking at someone doing something and I say that I like that, that's a viable source of income, that looks, even if it's profitable, or it looks like something that they look happy doing, doesn't necessarily mean I would be happy doing it. It looks like they're happy doing it. And on the flip side of that, I see people that are working, doing jobs that don't look happy doing the job that they're doing, but they're doing it anyway. So as I was having this conversation with the person I was talking to, that's some of the stuff we got into, all different aspects of having a job, doing a job, in the ways that people feed themselves and prepare for their later in life, right? So I always call it the fourth quarter. So when certain people look at preparing for the fourth quarter, they go into it with my 401k and my savings, and putting a little something away. And that's cool. That is good. That is always having a plan and working towards that planned goal is good. And I say that because I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying whatever their plan is a bad thing. Yeah. All right, hold on a second. So I don't want anybody to take it as I'm down in the way they're doing their thing. And that's not my intent. Having a plan is better than having no plan at all. And everybody's plans are a little different. So getting back to the business that we're in, that I'm in, that the reason why you're looking at me, listening to me, or watching me right now, So our conversation centered around us as independent operators, and kind of like we always say, we work for ourselves. We're not tied into the company in a way where we have those 401ks or we have those benefit plans and the matching payment programs and all of the safeguards and the safety nets in place, so to say, that I've had at other jobs, because I'm no spring chicken, as they say. And I've had plenty of jobs with 401ks and as I was growing up, and matching payment programs and all those things. So I'm familiar. I'm not speaking from an area of unfamiliarity, if that's a word to use here. But what I'm saying is this: in our business, we are responsible for handling the things that we need to do on our own, as far as setting up an infrastructure or a foundation for just in case. When we talk about us having a business, and when I always get into people working in this field, when they're just green and starting out, they come in with an expectation of, I got 15,000. I want to buy a route. And what I always tell them is, you want to buy a route with 15,000, you're going to start off with half of that going towards the route. Just starting out. You also need a vehicle, and you need a just in case cushion, security money, just in case anything happens with the vehicle, with you, anything, because just in case is always going to happen. And over the years, I found that some people go in all in with just what they have, with more or less just enough, and it's not enough. So I say that to say this: the same applies to as we start getting into the business. And I always tell, we were having, again, me and the person were having a conversation, because it's centered around someone that I know that has a route. And when they came in, they started making decent money. It was a big route. And right immediately, they were spending money as if they had the route for 10 years and it was paid off. And they were in a place of comfort because they saw the money coming in. And what happened is, it turned so quickly with issues with the vehicle and some unexpected things in the family. Some life started lifing, is what I can say, in his personal life. And whatever amount of money he made in the first couple years was gone within 3 to 4 months, due to life just being life, just lifing. And as much as we, when we try to talk to people sometimes, and I don't, me myself personally, don't like to sound like I know everything. I don't know everything. There's a lot of things. I learn stuff every day. And but if I can share an experience, or if I went through it, or someone I know went through it and I saw it, and give that advice, if it's not accepted, received, or taken into account, there's nothing I could do about that. So my point is, what I was talking about was, doing the business is so much other business that comes with the business, and that's in any business. We don't just put, if we're just putting bread on the shelf or just delivering the bread, we're doing a disservice to ourselves, and we're wasting time. To get up at 2 o'clock in the morning every day, to make it to the sales center, to load a truck, to go to all these stores and all these stops and service these businesses, and the physicality of the work, to get the monetary reward and not treat it properly, I would be a fool. And again, I know I'm a little older, so when I was younger, I had the benefit of being around people that schooled me in certain ways that allowed me to do things differently. And I blew money. I burned it up because it was coming in different ways, that I've always been able to work in different fields and have different business opportunities. And I wouldn't be saying this if I did not know for a fact, though, that it's easy to lose it. Easier to lose it than it is to get it. It goes faster than it comes in. So the infrastructure has to be in place while you're doing or running the business. And I want to say run the business. And my man always gets at me. My partner tells me you don't say doing bread, running the business. And I say that because using those words allows me to work the same way. Handle your business, take care of business. These are phrases we hear all the time, and they should be used, because when you use those phrases, and they always say speak things into existence, the way you speak is the way you will act. The way you speak is the way you will move. And I'm a firm believer of that. And I don't it took me a little while to learn how to run the business properly. And I had this conversation with somebody, and they were struggling in a lot of different areas on their route with their business. And once I went out with them and saw what they were doing, how they were doing it, it was easy to see. Servicing all businesses 2 days a week is not going to work. You can't go to, if you have 14 or 12 stops and you go to each of them only twice a week or maybe three times, and you juggle them here and there, and you're not delivering and you're just working out of the back room, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It can work if you master it to bring it down to the science of never running out of bread, making sure your codes are correct. And if you're not pulling your breath forward and rotating it, the people in the stores are going to be familiar with your sloppy work, and they're not going to want the bread. If you got stale bread all the time and you don't have new dates, and your bread is crushed and it's just the bags are loose and they're not tight, there's so much that goes into it. And I notice these things because it happens to me as well. I'm not exempt from missing some pieces and being behind, and my ordering pattern. I had an issue with cutting some orders back, and then the snow hit a few weeks ago. And usually I'm prepared, and I missed some things just because I was worried about having too much, then I didn't have enough. So like I said, no one's perfect. I'm not. But what I like to do is when I have those errors, I like to correct them. So that's my thing for today, is just running a business versus delivering bread. So that's the biggest thing I wanted to talk about. So, if are you delivering bread, or are you running a business? That's what I'm asking. So I don't want anyone to feel like I'm, singling anyone out and saying they're not doing it right. So I just had that on my mind. That was one of the things I just wanted to talk about, because I had, like I said, a real interesting conversation. And what I got was, the person told me it don't matter. As long as the bread's on the shelf, they're going to come buy it. As long as I get it in the store, it doesn't matter how it looks, as long as it's in the store. If I get the bread to the store, get it on the shelf, that's all that matters. And in some sense, that is what matters. But an emergency situation, if you're on vacation, if you're sick and you're not there and you just need someone to get the bread there, okay. There's going to be days when just getting it to the store matters. But on an overall, consistently every day of the week, it should not be just get the bread in the store and on the shelf. So that's just my take on it. Everybody does it differently. Everybody treats it differently. I'm just not into that. Um, how you do one thing is how you do everything. How you live is how you work. How you work is how you live. It all translates back to the same thing. If you handle it, if your business is sloppy, you're sloppy. If you run your business bad, that means your business is doing bad. So that's just the way I look at it. And there's also some people that are very good at this business, and they run their business really well, and there's outside factors that come into play that affect the efficiency or the the business being run a certain way, and it's sometimes out of their hands. We get product that's cut, we get product that's damaged, product that's mislabeled, whether it's the dates, whether it's the packaging, the bags are backwards, all these things happen. So again, those things are out of our hands, and those are some of the issues that some of the people that run the routes have with the companies that they're partner with. And those are when we have the roundtable meetings, and they're shooting emails back and forth. I know a couple guys that email the companies like they're in corporate, and which they should, because they treat their business that way. They're CCing everybody. They're on the company emails, and when certain management sees it, everybody sees it, and it gets eyes open. And I remember there was a time we had some there was a rollout, say they were introducing some new product and things were happening in a certain way. And I think it might have been once we had got the private label product back in Walmart, and they say, hey, there's a lot of eyes on this, so we're trying to make sure that this gets done right. And my statement would be, shouldn't it be eyes on everything all the time? And that's the problem sometimes. You can't just magnify when you want to magnify. How about when I need my stuff magnified for support in certain areas? That's the issue. When we don't get to take a break or a day off because of our independence and the way we work, I don't think management should get to take a break or take a day off while they're supporting us. That's what's important. Don't tell me there's a lot of eyes on something, because I want your eyes on these things all the time. So that's just my thought process sometimes, because we're here. We're all in it together. The ultimate goal is for all of us to make money. Company wants to make money, we want to make money, and vice versa. It just goes like that. So, and again, I say this all the time. I don't have the issues that other people have with, as far as when it's dealing with the management that they're partnering with. We don't have those issues. People in my sales center, I'm good. We rock back and forth. It's not a problem. So I don't got like I said, I don't have those issues like everybody else. And if there's something that's going on, we speak like men. That's what we do. So I just wanted to be clear, get that out there. So it's all about the business. We all want to make money. And if you run your business the right way, then you'll be stacking your bread. That's what we're here for. That's all we're here for. If you stack the bread properly, you will stack the bread properly. And once you stack the bread, you have to make sure that you take care of it. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. So like I said, I ain't going to stay here long tonight. I got some things I got to get into. And I wanted to make sure that I said those things, because I told the person I was talking to that I would say these things. And I'm sure they're going to see it, and hope this helps. I hope what I said helps you or someone you know. Share this video, like, subscribe, follow. It only works if we work together. We got to build together so we don't struggle alone. That's my motto. I stand by that, and I'm sticking with it. That's all I got for now. Stay blessed. Keep stacking.